Okay. Well, this is like my friend Peter Freakout 10 reviewed this while back. Hates this film to death. How he phrased this. Avoid this film like a plague. That's how he describes it. For me, let's see how I put this. That's how I put it. That felt really good to get all that out. Oh, look at that, the disc fell out of it. That felt good. Now, what makes you so mad? What film? Well, since my friend Peter Freakout 10 hated this film, I figured he wondered if he would be glad to hear my opinions on this. And I'm sure I don't know how anybody would like this film. Well, I'm sure there is quite a few though, but to each their own. But this film is flat out pretty much, I would say, 90% hated by everybody. Or that's too much. 95% people hate this by everyone. I'm sure there's a slim 5% that likes this film. That's fine. I'm sure if you like watching bad movies, if you like that film in that sense. But there's a reason why this guy, to me, he's in the without doubt in the top 5 worst directors of all time. And I'm sure some people will say the same thing. Because all of his films, for all I know, are so abysmal, atrocious, tedious, hideous, horrible. What other words say that? Garbage. You can say most of his films are garbage. But what film is but one of his films is considered one of the worst movies ever made, rightfully so. Alone in the Dark. This is one I've been wanting to review for some time as well, but I've been avoiding it. Like Peter Ferguson said, avoid it like a plague. But yeah, I have been avoiding this review because I didn't want to get through the chore of sitting through this again. But I have to refresh my memory, because this film is one of the most forgettable films, so I had to re-put that in my brain. Now I got to dump that out again. Yeah, and we went a little dark. The one director I'm talking about is Uwe Boll, or people say Uwe or Uwe, so I always call him Uwe. Director Uwe Boll. God damn, man. I don't know what I can say about this guy. I'm sure a lot of people say the same thing, but Uwe Boll, one of the films that he's made that is so bad, especially since his majority of his movies are films based on video games, and this is one of them. Like House of the Dead, I hate, which is too bad because me and my brother grew up loving playing the House of the Dead games, 1, 2, and 3. But House of the Dead movie was bad. This film is horrendous. What else? In the Name of the King as well. Blood Rain, trash. Out of all of them, maybe the only one that I thought was decent was Rampage. No, not the one with Dwayne Johnson. That was years later. Although he did make a stupid reaction, gave a stupid saying about that film, saying, "Oh, mine was first." I was like, mine was first. It's turned into that. And you can't call that other movie Rampage. I'm like, dude, I probably said this before when I reviewed Rampage, that movie from 2018. I think I already said that. Like he said the same thing. I was like, dude, you're not the one to talk, okay? That film was based on the arcade game that existed long before you ever showed up with your movies, all right? So you're not the one to talk, all right? Yeah, but going back to the one that he directed, I thought that the first one was the only decent one he did. The sequel was a capital punishment. No. But the rest of his films are so atrocious and bad. And this one was a total flop. This film got a sequel. Yeah, this film was a total flop. It was hated by pretty much. It was butchered to death by critics. This film still got a sequel. Or even other ones are huge flops, like In the Name of the King or Blood Rain. Those films got 2 more sequels. Even though it was direct to video, though, but still. And even Uwe Boll directed those movies as well. God, man. It's still mind-boggling. And yeah, I'm going to need a little shitload of Mountain Dew to get through this, because it's so painful to. This film was so painful to watch. But anyway, getting to the film itself, even though this film was a total flop, it was butchered to death by critics. It was a total flop. This film got a sequel. It's the same thing with other Uwe Boll movies that were total flops that got sequels. Like Blood Rain, that got 2 sequels. That was a total flop too. In the Name of the King, that was a huge flop, and that got 2 more sequels. See? Doesn't want me. My allergies is getting the best of me. They don't want me to talk about this freaking bullshit of a movie. God. They just want me to talk about this. You want me to talk about this? Fine. I'll stop right now. No, just kidding. I am allergic to this bullshit. That's why. Wants me to stop. So. But yeah, somehow those got sequels, even though they were total flops. I don't know why they get sequels. But talking about the film of this though, okay. Now it's based on the 1992. What was 1992? Yeah, the video game of Alone in the Dark, the same name, which I've never played. I've never played the original Alone in the Dark game. I was busy growing up. Me and my brother were busy playing House of the Dead. Growing up, me and my brother always loved the House of the Dead games 1, 2, and 3. 4 is all right though, but I for the first 3 more. Although the first game took place in a mansion as well. I think the original Alone in the Dark game took place in a mansion too. And it starts with the character Eric Carnby from the game, who's a PI, and he's in this mansion and gets dealing with like zombies, other ghosts and stuff. So, during development of the game, with the original script, with alternate scripts from Blair Erickson, came up with the first drafts of the script, and Uwe Boll changed it to make it more action-packed than a thriller. And Erickson stated that he has discussed it at the treatment and spoken negatively of his working relationship with Uwe Boll. The original script took the original Alone in the Dark premise and depicted it as if it was actually based on a true story of a private investigator in the northeastern U.S. whose missing persons cases began to uncover disturbing paranormal secrets. It was told through the eyes of the writer following Edward Carnby and his co-worker for a novel, and depicted as if real blue-collar folks were never expected to find find hideous beings waiting for them in the dark. Which that would have been interesting, blue-collar people, which, like Alien, blue-collared people. You don't see much nowadays anymore, sadly. Like to see, blue-collared people. Tried to stick close to H.P. Lovecraft style and the low-tech nature of the original game, always keeping the horror in the shadows that you never saw was coming for them. Thankfully, Dr. Boll was able to hire his team of hacks and crank out something much better than our crappy script, and add all sorts of terrifying horror movie essentials like opening gateways to other dimensions, bimbo blonde archaeologists, sex scenes, mad scientists, slimy dog monsters, special army forces designed to battle slimy CGI dog monsters, Tyra Reid, Matrix slow-motion gun battles, and car chases. Oh yeah, a 10-minute opening backstory scroll read aloud to the elaborate audience. only the people able to successfully miss all those negative reviews. I mean, hell, Boll knew where the real scares lie. The only scares that lie here is the bullshit of this movie. That's the real scare of this movie. And then not only that, I need more Mountain Dew for this, and then of course on top of that I got. Now it's making me drop stuff as I'm trying to get this thing out of here. Yeah, I'm trying to struggling to get my licorice out of the goddamn package. Doing drop everything. This is your fault. Put this down here before I drop it again. But yeah, all that. But this film itself is this bland, boring. It looks direct to video. I don't know how this film got into theaters. But this came out in January. Like I said, January is a bad month for movies. But not only this had a horrible weekend. It made $2.8 million on its opening weekend. Debuted at number 12. And it made a budget on a budget of $20 million. It only made $10 million. And on top of that, critics hated it to death. It's called one of the worst movies of all time. And it has a 2.4 on IMDb. And has a mediocre 1% on Rotten Tomatoes. 1%. Man. And this deserves because it's just a bunch of. What was it? I would say a bunch of what? It's a bunch of nothing. That's what it is. I'll put it as a bunch of pile of nothing. But the film, it not only is shitty when it starts with its opening crawls. The opening crawls for right. It's so freaking slow that we could read the whole opening crawl twice. It's that slow. On top of that, as if we're stupid enough to read this on our own, we have a narration about it. And it's about all these experiments. It opens up after the long. Well, it seems like it takes forever. It's like 5 minutes, but it's not though. It's actually like 1:30 for all the slow creds to go. There's this kid who runs away from an orphanage. It's actually young Edward Carnby. Runs away, and where he hides is hide in a high voltage shack. As a fine place, when you're running away from people, you hide in a high voltage shack. Okay, dumb. And then it's years later, and now the kid's grown up to be Christian Slater. Now the cast, Christian Slater, I enjoy. I love him in Broken Arrow. I enjoy him in Hard Rain. True Romance. Hell, I'll probably say even Untamed Heart. My mother, she actually enjoys that film with him in it. Untamed Heart. I like Christian Slater. Good actor. I also liked him. He was also in Mindhunters as well. So with Rennie Harlan. I like Mindhunters. But Christian Slater he's absolutely wasted in this movie. He looks all the time. He looks like that same face. It looks like he's freaking bored. He doesn't want to be there. It was probably easy for him to get through this film with an easy paycheck because it was that easy. But Christian Slater, I enjoy Christian Slater, but he's wasted in this movie. Looks bored out of his mind. And then, what else? Oh, God. Freaking Tara Reid, who's just absolutely atrocious in this movie. God damn. Tara Reid. Yeah, she's a scientist, archaeologist. You don't buy her as a scientist, even when she's wearing glasses to make her look smarter. No. Yeah, right, blonde bimbo archaeologist. Yeah, that's what she is. Especially when she later goes to stars all those dumb Sharknado movies that she's in. I hate those Sharknado movies. I don't see how those especially the first one got so popular that fans wanted sequels. I don't see how they got a high rating on Rotten Tomatoes from what I remember. How? is one of the dumbest ideas, and it's just the freaking chainsaw is the shark, and then just, I don't want to get into that right now. I can't stand those Sharknado movies, especially with the worst things that sci-fi has ever produced. You know, it got a freaking sequel after sequel. And Tyrese, she's in all those movies. Why? But she was bad enough in the first one, let alone this movie. And Stephen Dorff, which I also do like. I like Stephen Dorff. I know there was a new TV show I've seen on TV. I forget what it was though, but he plays, what was he? Is he a cop? But I like Stephen Dorff, and especially when he played Deacon Frost in the first Blade movie. He was a good villain in the first Blade film. I like Stephen Dorff, but he's just too over the top. When we lose it, he's screaming. He's like, God, and he's doing way too over the top on this. So, yeah, but it's also a waste. It's a waste of Stephen Dorff. Rest of the cast, I barely remember. But going on with Christian Slater, he's a PI, paranormal investigator or PI. Which he's a very shitty PI as well, which I'll get to though. He basically sucks at his job at investigating this stuff. But he comes in, he's driving, he's riding this cab. And then actually that cab driver is Brendan Fletcher. Brendan Fletcher, which he will start in Uwe Boll's Rampage movies. But Brendan Fletcher, I mostly remember him when he started in Air Bud. He was, the kid that our main character, he always called him Waterboy. Or, if you remember, he plays Grady in Goosebumps, the TV show of the Werewolf of Fever Swamp. Yeah, Brendan Fletcher, he's in that as well, and he also played in Freddy vs. Jason. He's the guy who was the friend of Jason Ritter. He kind of knew all about Freddy Krueger until when Freddy Krueger kills him. Yeah, so that's Brendan Fletcher. He's in this. He's a cab driver. Then Christian Slater, says that someone's following him, so he tells the cab driver to follow him, and the guy's like, okay, start this car chase ensues now. The guy's just totally nonchalant about it. And the funny thing is, when they get to the car chase ends, and the one guy's going to ram into them, Christian Slater tells the cab driver, Brendan Fletcher, to get down. And then he bails out, wait for the Christian Slater bails out of the car until the car smashes into the car. And it's like, why do you tell him to get down when you go and bail out and he's going to crash into it? Sure, the guy is fine, though, because you see him, he's still alive. But still. You get this boring fight. And there's this use of slow-mo, sometimes they use of slow-mo when they're running, or the slow-mo is horrendous in this as well, and the editing and the fight scenes are bad and lame, which, I don't see how, from Fangoria Magazine gave this a positive review, saying, arousing fight scenes and non-stop action. I don't know what Fangoria Magazine's been smoking to give this a positive review about this. I don't know what they've been smoking. Rousing fight scenes and non-stop action. I don't know what they've been smoking on that. And then also there's there was because when he was a kid there were 20 he was in this orphanage, right, when he escaped, and there were 20 of them all together, including him. Guess that one guy that he fought was one of them. Now there's 18. And the rest of those, they get I guess the doctor did those experiments. Because there's another thing. There's a ship, and he unleashes there's this box, this big crate. And I guess this guy can control the creatures. I guess when he opens the box, it kills everyone on board. Because how many creatures can fit in this one crate? Because there's obviously several more of them. I guess and also this guy can control them, but also talk about those orphans are now grown up, and then I guess now this thing has happened, and now they're all just hypnotized and acting like zombies now, calling to go wherever, and then Christian Slater goes and meets with Tyra Reid, who knew each other, and Tyra Reid. So she's just absolutely atrocious and horrible, bad in this movie. And honestly, like I said, I don't buy her as a scientist. at all. I'm sure people will say the same thing. Then what else? There's a security guard at this museum that gets killed. CGI in these creatures are absolutely atrocious, horrendous to watch. It's like it is some of the worst CGI I've seen. I know I've seen worse. Like there's a lot of them I've seen where there's bad, horrendous CGI. This is up there with them. And you know what? How they call these creatures? Xenos. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, your shitty film ripping off something from a great classic movie, Aliens. Xenos, xenomorphs. Yeah. Don't steal shit from good movies, let alone classics, to put it into and rip it off and put it in your shitty movie. Uwe Boll. Especially trying to shorten the name, thinking that no one will notice. Xenos. Just breathe. It's just a movie, I know, but just breathe. Gotta get through this. Now, what else? And Stephen Dorff and his team come in. Because Christian Slater also worked with him as well. It's called Bureau 713. And once again, more fight scenes. Like, I barely understood what was going on because it was that dark. Just reminding me. This reminded me kind of like, like AVP Requiem, Alien vs. Predator Requiem, where it was so freaking dark I couldn't understand what was going on. Even we had to turn off all your lights in your room just to see what was going on. Yeah, and especially during the shootout scenes where these creatures are so bad and edited and just and even to the point where it was that sad where they use CGI pillars. Yeah, they're set behind pillars, and that's CGI. Sad as that. It's not even good CGI anyway. And there was this random sex scene that comes out of nowhere, with Christian Slater, Tyra Reid. Forgot to mention that. Yeah, it's just like out of the blue. One thing that happened before Stephen Dorff's people show up after the security guard gets killed and all that thing. I think it was after that. All of a sudden, boom, random sex scene, but you don't see nothing. So, but it's just like it's out of the blue. And what else? And there's just so much exposition in this movie that needs explaining. Also, even the Christian Slater, he does narration. So much talking, exposition, explaining where these creatures are coming from. It's like, this one's so shit enough as it is. I don't need to know what happened. I mean, this the film doesn't even follow up in the original game anyway, so they don't bother with the source material. Like I said, I never played the original game, so I would not know about that though. But still, I already know the original game's already better than this movie. Then I guess one thing leads to another. When they go down, they eventually go into these underground tunnels, and then while outside, there's another one of Brad Dourif's team are up on the surface. They're shooting. Like I said, I guess these guys can control the creature because he's standing on a hill, and all these bad CGI monsters are going after the soldier. He's standing there, so I guess this guy can control them now. And then the team gets wiped out. And then back down in the caverns. And I swear, I think so. One of them says like somebody's never been down here before or something like that. But then you see these tracks down here on the dirt, and it's like, what? How can you say that when there's obviously tracks that are claiming that someone's already been there before? I was like, oh, I think no one's ever been down here. Kidding me, man. This especially the script is so all over the place. It's not funny. It's all over the place, confusing, and so badly written. This is basically like. Goddamn Uwe Boll. But then they find the place. They find the place for this lab where place where Christian Slater and all the Overmans were experimented on. And look at that. God damn, forget that. That's a spit on my freaking computer now. This film either hates me or wants me to hate it because I'm making all these mistakes here. I'm sneezing, because of my allergic. I'm dropping everything because it probably just. Maybe I just saw this review right now because it's making me do all this stuff, including I'm end up spitting on my own computer now. God damn. I guess this film has made me so mad enough as it is. So, what's next? And what else? And Stephen Dorff, because all this was part of he finds files that the Bureau of 713 was involved in this, and he did not know about it. And then they find the secret door. There was this artifact that he had through this whole movie to open this door. And then the doctor comes in, shoots one of the guys, tells him he tells him to step away, and then he gets shot. He dies, and there's all this. There's this cave, and there's all these creatures that are in there. I'm like, but that's another thing. Why are there so many more in here when there's already stuff creatures? How they get this door open? Because this door has always been sealed shut with this artifact. But how do they get all the ones that were from outside? Where did all those come from? They don't explain that. Especially from that one crate. Can't be off on that one crate that the doctor had on the boat, which looked too small for all those creatures to be in. But where are all those creatures that were running around outside? All those ones that killed the team and all that. Where did they come from? Seems like because they needed to open this door, there was all these other creatures, and where did they come from then? Like I said, they don't explain it. But then they wanted to blow the place up. They make a run for it, but oh shoot, it didn't go off. So Stephen Dorff has to run back and set it. And the whole thing is Stephen Dorff. He doesn't give a proper death. He doesn't give a proper death. I mean, you don't see him die, but you know he would not have survived it anyway. But still, he resets the bomb. He sets it for 5 seconds. 5 freaking seconds. And he thinks he can beat it. He thinks he can outrun that in 5 seconds. I mean, even though the creatures are not really that fast, they weren't totally running that fast where they're tailing him on his ass or anything. I mean, they were really kind of far behind, so he could have set it for maybe about 45 seconds or maybe at least a minute. But why freaking 5 freaking seconds? It just kills me. I mean, just 5 freaking seconds, and he thinks he can make it. That barely enough time for him to clear out that lab right there. Where he threw it at the cave where the cave was. But yeah, he does it for 5 freaking seconds. Boom! It goes off. But even though it cuts away, you don't see him die though. But he does though. And then Christian Slater and Tyree, they get out of there. And the whole time it was right under their. The whole time it was right in the orphanage. The whole time. And that's what I mean. What I said earlier that Christian Slater is a shitty PI because this whole thing started when I was a kid, and when I ran away. Maybe I should when I'm a PI. Maybe I should start I was working on this case my whole life. Maybe I just started at the orphanage in the first place, and there was that cellar that was a few feet from the building. Maybe I should check that first. That's what I mean. He's a shitty PI because it's so obvious. You could have seen that it started that to begin with. But yeah. And then apparently I guess it's like the end of the world now because, or no, I don't know. Because they both walk out, and apparently I guess the city has been evacuated because the whole city is deserted. Although Christian Slater does once again narration saying, "Oh, it's happening all over again," which that doesn't make any sense either, because they say the city's been evacuated. But you say it's happening all over again? That's what this is. It said the city's been evacuated, but no, it's all happening all over again. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention this here. Apparently, that's why all the orphans were injected with these things. And that's another thing confusing. That's another confusing thing. They got these mystical creatures, like chest bursters from Aliens. But if those things were shut the whole time, how did they get these creatures to put it in the kids? And Christian Slater, he had one, but apparently it's dead because when he was a kid, he hit the high voltage. Apparently he got electrocuted, but all you can see him get electrocuted. He was just sitting there in the corner like this. But I guess he got electrocuted, and that killed the thing. So I guess that's why he was not affected like all those orphanages that were like being. Actually, I have to mention that as well, because all those orphans, they seemed like there was like 18 of them, including the one he killed in the market area. But it seemed like it was more than 18. It seemed like 20 more when they were shooting at. But apparently he didn't get affected because that thing in him was dead, so. But I was like, how they get those creatures if it was like the door was shut the whole time, and how they get those other ones from out there, but it doesn't matter, because this script is so bad, all over the place. And essentially how it ends, like, even though the city's been evacuated, but he's saying it's happening all over again. Then you do like an Evil Dead shot where the camera is running up behind them. They're like this. Like that. Man. I'm telling you, man. Yeah, I know my friend Peter Freakout 10, he has every right to be pissed about this. Oh, I'm pissed about this movie too, because this film should not exist. Or done the right way, don't have Uwe Boll get involved with this in the first place. I knew it was one day I was going to review one of his movies. I don't think I ever reviewed any of his movies, so this is like the first one I have. Guess the first time I ever reviewed an Uwe Boll movie. This guy should never have been involved in this in the first place, or let alone any of the movies, the video games that he did based on. Because he can't direct. You can't even, or just like make. I don't know what, he just can't direct. That's why he's one of the worst directors. He's definitely in the top 5 with M. Night Shyamalan. I mean, although M. Night Shyamalan, I'll do say 3 of the films I did like. His first 3 films, and after all of his films went to shit afterwards. I mean, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of The Sixth Sense, though. I think it's a bit overrated, though, but I never minded it, though. The Sixth Sense is better than any movie Uwe Boll's directed. Unbreakable is a very good one from M. Night, but that's still better than any of Uwe Boll's movies. And Signs. That's it from M. Night, for me. Signs is better than anything Uwe Boll's directed. But after Signs, M. Night Films went to shit afterwards. I hate every single one of his movies afterwards. That's why I say he's one of the worst directors also, because I hate most of those movies he did after Signs. But Uwe Boll, he's still in the top 5 as well. He can't direct for shit. I hate this film. I hate also, like I said, Rampage is like the only decent one he's did. Decent, not great, not awesome, just decent, average at best. Every single film he's did sucked. And I don't know how this film got a sequel. How this film got a sequel, even though this film was a critical and commercial failure. Man. Almost going on with 35 minutes on this bullshit of a movie. I mean, the cast is, well, Christian Slater and Stephen Dorff I like, but they can't save this movie. They're wasted in this film. Tyrese is absolute horrible in this movie. I never care for her anyway. I know she was like in the American Pie films, but as a supporting, but I never cared for her as an actress anyway. She was a horrible in this movie. And especially I didn't care for her in those Sharknado movies anyway. But Christian Slater and Stephen Dorff absolutely wasted in this film. The script is, like I said, it's it's god awful all over the place. The CGI especially is god awful as well. Especially the look of the creatures. Not only you just you rip off aliens with the name Xenos, xenomorphs, yeah. Still, you rip off aliens, and the creatures themselves also, they kind of look like the rejects from Pitch Black as well. And Pitch Black is a lot better than this film as well, tenfold, with Vin Diesel. Man. And this also has features as well. That's another thing that's mind-boggling. This film has features. This has Into the Dark. It has a making of Alone in the Dark, Shedding a Light, the visual effects of Alone in the Dark, to explain how bad the CGI was on these creatures. The visual effects of Alone in the Dark, music videos, a commentary with the director. I have not hear the commentary on this. I would love to hear his goddamn bullshit explanation on this movie. Yeah, but horrible CGI, creature ripoffs, not that impressive either. I know this is from his. I know this was his. I know he has his own company. Was it Boll Productions or something? I forget. Yeah, he does finance his own movies. But yeah, just this score is absolutely forgettable. Like I said, bad CGI, even with CGI pillars, for Christ's sake. What else? What else? Don't explain. Oh, especially with a minute and a half troll. It's like takes like 5 freaking minutes. We can read this shit twice. Alone, you don't need a narration. And an explanation for the ending does not explain. Is it city evacuated, but the creature starts happening all over again? And bad use of slow-mo as well, and especially the bullcrap thing with Stephen Dorff, set for 5 freaking seconds, and he thinks he can make it. And how the creatures outside, with all the door shut there the whole time, there's more in there, but how these ones get out. This. Ugh. I don't want to get to touch this film anymore. But that's why I think that's what the film just made me feel. But it felt good. It felt freaking good to unleash some anger out. But I know, hey, my friend Peter Freakout 10, watch this. Hope you enjoy this, because I enjoyed your rant on it. So I'm glad hear your thoughts on mine. So you hate this film, hey, you're not alone. I'm sure everybody hates this film. So do I. But it just felt good. Nah, I just gave myself a freaking headache now by pounding on my head that much. Probably because, and that's a good thing, I probably want to beat this film out of my memory. I don't want to. But, yeah, that's my thoughts on Alone in the Dark. Where is it? It is sad. The only sad thing is, one last thing. I never minded this poster. How sad is that they have to give the poster a praise? Because it looks like an X-ray you see in a hospital. This kind of X-ray look, but with the creature inside. Although this kind of looks like a freaking rip-off of Aliens, though, with a chest burst inside, though. But that's the only praise I would give it. It's a freaking poster. And I don't know what, like I said, I don't know what Fangoria magazine's been smoking to give this a positive review. Rousing fight scenes and non-stop action. The action just sucks in this movie. Everything, especially when it's in the dark, you can't see or understand what was going on. It reminded me of like freaking Alien vs. Predator Requiem. And I need a lot more Mountain Dew to get rid of this chore that to get out of my memory now. I need a lot more Mountain Dew than this. Like I said, I'm allergic to this bullshit because this film made me spit on my computer, made me freaking sneeze to stop talking about this. I'm dropping all this stuff to get freaking licorice. I can't get a freaking licorice out of the package without dropping stuff. I never should have done this review, otherwise none of this stuff would happen. But yeah. That's my big rant. And Uwe Boll, shove this film up your ass, okay? If you like the film, that's fine, because well, of course you will like it. You should be proud. It's just a goddamn movie. Of course you should feel proud of it. But to me, I think you shouldn't be proud because you should not direct any more movies ever again, you know? Now this guy still gets... Well, I haven't heard nothing from... I think he was supposed to direct another movie, but I haven't heard nothing since then, so... But yeah. I can't stand this director, though. But hey. Be sure to give my thoughts on another Uwe Boll movie sometime down the road. Maybe... Well, maybe I'll save it for Halloween month. Maybe I'll give House of the Dead for Halloween month, probably. But that's a long ways away now. But... Alone in the Dark. Shitfest. That's what it is. It's a train wreck. It's a shitfest. Never should have existed. This makes me curious to go check out the original game now. Although I have to get it though, but still. And look at that. Time has passed my expectations now. What does that mean? It means it makes no sense. Because why? Because this film makes no goddamn sense at all. So I feel like talking no sense. It's time for me to get a new watch. I don't know. I'm just throwing bad jokes out there because this film is a bad joke. See, that's what I mean. This film would make me talk all kinds of babble here. Just to stop here now. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this big rant on Alone in the Dark. If you like watching bad films, if you like this film as a bad film itself, then more power to you. But to me, 1% rating Rotten Tomatoes, it deserves so. And Peter Freakout 10, hope you enjoy my big rant. It's longer than yours, I know that. So, but I hope you enjoyed it. And especially I enjoyed your rant too, so. But yeah, I follow your advice. Avoid this film like a plague. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more movie reviews. Later.